One Piece is tough. I think the most impactful one is that this is a reason that a lot of starters fail. You're gonna get a lot of no's. Like I've gotten so many no's in my life, but you just can't. No means next opportunity to me. So again, if someone says no, like there's so many opportunities out there that you can't just like. I know people that have shut down off of one no. Like, okay, I'm done doing it. I've gotten too many no's. Like you just got to keep going because eventually you're gonna get a yes, and someone's gonna see your vision and believe in it, and then you're gonna be able to prove them right. And prove the other no's wrong, essentially. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of no's in life. Just keep going and just you're gonna eventually get those yeses that really propel you to the next level.
Hey everyone, this is Devin Miller here with another episode of The Inventive Journey. I'm your host, Devin Miller, the serial entrepreneur that's grown several startups into 7 and 8 figure businesses, as well as a founder and CEO of Miller IP Law, where he helps startups and small businesses with their patents and trademarks. If you ever need help with yours, just go to strategymeeting.com, grab some time with us to chat, and we're always here to help. Now, today we've got another great guest on the podcast. Manswell, and Maurice has started his journey in high school, going to school in Maryland, and did lacrosse while he was playing there. Won a state championship in 2018 for lacrosse, and then went off to play for a club team for a period of time, and then got recruited to a private high school. And then in 2020, committed to playing lacrosse at college. And then after a year, took a year off with the gap semester, or did a period of time with the gap semester to create WeTrain, which is the platform that he offers college athletes an opportunity to get train youth and get paid, and also transferred to the University of Miami, and has continued to build and launch the platform. So, with that much as a introduction, welcome on the podcast, Maurice.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. Excited to have you on. So I just gave a quick walkthrough to a much longer journey. So why don't we rewind and unpack it a bit and tell us a little bit about how your journey got started in Maryland playing lacrosse?
Right. So I originally I was playing football, and so I suffered a life-threatening asthma attack, unfortunately. And so I had to get airlifted to Children's Hospital. And so it was a really scary experience for me and my family. So after that, my mom decided, you're done playing football. I'm not dealing with it anymore. And so I was pretty upset, but I was always a big sports guy. So growing up in Maryland, lacrosse is huge. So one of my best friends actually played lacrosse, and he had a net in his backyard. So he introduced it to me. And so I really fell in love with it. So I got to high school. We ended up winning the state championship in 2018. We're the 10th ranked team in the country. That was a super exciting time. And then right after that, I played for MDX club team. And so our first tournament was actually at IMG Nationals, which is in Bradenton, Florida at IMG Academy. And so what IMG does is that they bring a ton of club teams to their campus and run a tournament, but they're also recruiting kids there as well that are on the other teams. So we ended up playing IMG Nationals, and we actually made the finals, and we ended up playing IMG's guest team as well. So I played really well. And after that, they started reaching out to me and contacting me, and that's when it really started to feel pretty real, because IMG is really a solidified high school and middle school around the country. And so they started recruiting me. And so the beginning of my junior year, they said, okay, listen, we want to bring you in. However, since we just started talking right before the school year started, we don't have enough money for you. So it was kind of a setback for me, but I was talking to one of the kids that went there at the time. He's like, don't worry about it. Spring semester, you're coming 1,000%. Don't worry. So that really gave me a good sense of hope and just faith that it was going to happen. It was all going to work out the way it was supposed to. So come January 2019, Coach Kerwick, actually from IMG, he's not there anymore, but he's the one that recruited me. He said, you know what, we're going to bring you in. We really like your play and stuff like that. So that was awesome. So I got to IMG. I played there for 2 years. And so unfortunately, I was a COVID grad. So we all got sent home really early on March 2020. Didn't get a graduation, but that definitely taught me a ton of resilience. And then in about February of 2020, I committed to Lynn University in Boca Raton. So I went there, played college for a year. And so that's actually where I created WeTrain. So in August of 2021, about a month after Name, Image, and Likeness came out for NCAA, I was training kids on the side. And so my teammates would always ask me like, yo, let me get some kids to train. Let me get some clients to train. I need some extra money. Like it's just a common fact. So I was like, you know what, I got you. I gave them some clients. Then I really started to think about, I'm like, wait a minute, like there's an opportunity here to create a platform where all college athletes can do what I'm doing, because really only the big athletes are getting these big NIL deals. And so that's when I really started creating a platform. So in August of 2021,
So now,
I
just jumping into or diving in just a little bit before you or get to building a platform. So, when you were going out and doing that, finding people to train, was that just out of a sense of, hey, I need to make a little bit of additional cash, and I have the background, and I'll go train high school or kind of high school students or people that are into the sports, or kind of how did you go about prior to building the platform, just going out and finding your own clientele or starting that or that as a revenue or generator?
Yeah, so I was actually practicing at my local field one day, and this lady named Angie Benson came up to me. She used to play goalie at Virginia Tech. And so she's like, "Hey, I've been watching you train. You seem like you know what you're doing. You're pretty good. I'd like to bring you on as one of my boys trainers." And so that's when I really got my first clientele of clients to train. And then so since they were local, my teammates were always asking me like, "Yo, let me, like, anytime you can't do a session, I got you," stuff like that. And so yeah, I was really doing it for obviously to get a little bit of extra cash. And I just love like coaching kids. Like it's super fun being able to see them grow and where they were when they first started to where they are now. Like it's really awesome process. And it's like building that relationship as well. Like they'll invite me to their games, their tournaments, birthday parties. Like it's really that connection and that relationship factor that's like it's super cool to see, because once I just really hope that once they make it to college, like it's just going to be a full circle effect for me, because it's like, wow, like I was training you when you were in fourth grade and now you're playing D1 at a university. So yeah, I mean it's super awesome. And yeah, that's really the reason why I started. But yeah, it just came out of nowhere. I was just practicing by myself and the opportunity presented itself. So I really feel like it was just God's timing, seriously.
No, it sounds like it was a great opportunity and give you a way to continue to make money and to lead to the launching of your platforms. Now you're doing that. You're training others. You're using that as a way to earn some money while you're going to school. Then
Right.
you have your friends that are saying, "Hey, we'd like to do this as well." And you kind of have the idea of, okay, maybe more formalize this, build this into a platform, and provide college athletes with the ability to leverage your skills in order to train others. Now, how did you take that from a concept or an idea of, hey, this might be an opportunity to actually building it out to a platform? Kind of walk us through what that process was.
Yeah, so I mean, I really grew up on iPhones and apps and stuff, so I know the app industry really well. And so literally a month after NIL came out in July 2021, so August 2021, I'm just like sitting there, I'm just like, wow, like there's really an opportunity here to, now that college athletes can legally get paid. However, I already knew that only the big and large athletes were going to be able to get these deals. And so I was like, how can we create a platform where all these athletes can do what I'm doing, make up to $100 per hour, because parents are going to pay it regardless, because they really invest in their children in sports as well. And so I just started doing research. I'm like, okay, what are some of the top development companies in the US? How to, like, what do you do to when you're getting ready to make an app, stuff like that. And then like from August to December, I was just full grind mode. So like I bought $100 camera from Amazon and I went around filming a ton of lit athletes for our load-in screen. And so I was really just doing the nitty-gritty stuff of being able to build our brand, build our platform. And so that was when we first started. And so it really went from idea to the UI UX of the app, and then to the actual coding of the app. So that's just really like 3 steps. And so I really just gave them the vision, and they were able to really portray it into exactly like the way I wanted it to. Just make the app as simple as possible. Let it be attractive. Don't let it be too complicated. Just basically let it be an Uber or Lyft for college athletes in order to train these kids and parents that are looking for training for their kids.
No, sounds like it's a great idea and gave opportunity to a lot of college athletes. Now, one of the I would anticipate or be the hindrances is it'd be easy enough to get the year easy enough in quotes, nothing's easy,
Yeah.
but to get college athletes that are wanting to have that additional income, especially if they're able to leverage the skill set they already have. Now, how did you go about kind of building the demand side or finding those people that are wanting to be on the platform to get trained? Was it going out to those clubs or those, you leveraging the connections you already had, or kind of how did you go about, taking it and getting traction on the other side?
Yeah, so I mean, I really grew up with a very large connection of college athletes. Like Howard County, Maryland really produces a ton of college and pro athletes. So me and my brothers being in the sports field, like we were just always friends with a ton of kids. And so it was really that personal connect, and obviously me going to IMG as well helped a ton. But really that personal connection of athletes that I knew personally, that's where we really restarted. And then it really was like a domino effect after that. It's like, okay, now they're telling their teammates, and then it started like slowly spreading exactly how we wanted it to. Like we made it like a ton of our friends joined at first. And then once the word started getting out, a lot of people who I'm not familiar with started joining the platform because they really see the vision. They know that they could appreciate the extra money and why not get it giving back to community at the same time. So yeah, it really started with my personal connection of athletes that I know.
So now, so you launched this, and you say you built, the app, or at least the first version or the beta version over over the month or two period. Now, what time frame was that, or when did it go live, or when did you officially launch it?
Yeah, so since it's like I said, it's kind of like three stages. So it goes from idea to UI UX to coding. So the idea stage was really about August 2021 to like November 2021. Then the UI UX started to come along. And then so I would say the first beta version went live in about January of 2023 this year. Because again, like you have to get approved by Apple. There's a ton of stuff of the process to be able to go live. And then so we just beta tested it for about 6 months, make sure it was all good and ready to go. And then July of this year, 2023, is when we launched officially for the public.
So now, so you go through that, that iteration of having the concept, testing it out, building it out, and then going towards launch. Now, once you get towards launch, walk us through a little bit. How has it gone? Has it taken off? Lots of people signing up for the platform. It's a slow build, slow grow, teetering on the verge of bankruptcy, getting ready to retire. Kind of walk us through a little bit as you've gone through that launch, or after you built it, now the launching phase. How's that gone? And I think you're still, pursuing your college degree, or you've graduated, or walk us through kind of how the college side's going along, or college part's going alongside of it.
Yes, sir. So I'm in my junior year right now at University of Miami. So definitely still in school right now. The balance part, it is kind of tough, but I feel like I just really organized with it. So I'll go like school, work on retrain, school, work on retrain, just kind of set it up in portions. But yeah, I mean, I'm just really trying to get that degree as fast as possible so I can really work on this full time. But yeah, I mean, launch wise, like we've really been growing at a really great rate. We've launched less than about 3 months ago, and we already are approaching 500 users on the platform. And so we've gotten a lot of feedback so far. And we haven't even ran like paid marketing yet on Facebook or Instagram yet. So we're going to start doing that here shortly, where we can really start reaching a ton of people because we can actually like manage, because we didn't want to have 50,000 people join right away because it just would have completely just crashed the app and we would have been overwhelmed. So I'm really glad at the rate that we're growing, because now we're getting ready to hit 1,000. Then we can go to 2,500, 5,000. So we really feel like that we're growing at a really great rate right now. And yeah, we're going to start hosting some camps next year as well. So we really feel like that'll help our brand and just be able to provide an experience for a ton of kids that are really interested and look up to some of these college athletes.
Oh, that's awesome. Sounds like a great trajectory and a growth plan now. And you kind of started to hit on that, but I'll follow up with one question. So you say now, if you were to say, okay, you've got college, you've got continuing study, you're in your junior year, you've got the platform you're building, doing all the sports and athletics and activities. So kind of, if you were to look out the next 6 to 12 months, kind of where do you see things headed, or what's the plan?
Yeah, so next semester, so I'm actually on the club lacrosse team at Miami because my love for lacrosse will never go away, unfortunately. So I'm just doing that. It's really fun. We practice 3 times a week, so I'm just really going to be um, just super excited for that. We're looking pretty good this year as well. And so, yeah, I'm just going to be able to take my classes. And I'm just going to keep trying to grow the platform as much as possible. So obviously those camps are going to be in the summer. So, I mean, by 12 months, we really hope to have about 2,500 athletes on the platform, or just users in general, just so we can just keep growing at the rate that we're growing at. And yeah, I mean, like so this semester I laid back on classes a little bit. So I took 4 classes instead of 5, and you can take 6 at Miami. So I took 4 classes just because I was like, okay, it's my first semester. with the app launched, let me just lower my course load just a little bit just to make sure that everything is on point and my grades are still good. And so next semester, I'm going to take 5 classes. So hopefully, I really think I'll be able to balance it and manage it. I'm definitely going to use the school's resources as much as possible. And they work with me a lot as well. Like they understand what I'm building and they love it. So they're really lenient and just they're able to help me a lot because they really do like what I'm doing. And I like love the university as well. Like they've helped me so much with the platform, my studies, everything. Like I'm studying sport administration and minoring in entrepreneurship. So all the classes I'm taking and my professors that I'm having, like they've been so helpful and I just love the university, seriously.
Awesome. Well, sounds like a lot of great opportunity to come, plenty to keep you busy, and plenty of experience to gain. So that's awesome. So,
Sure.
well, now as we kind of reach the present day of your journey, and even looking a bit into the future, great time to transition to the 2 questions I always like to ask towards the end of each episode. So we'll jump to those now. So the first question I'd like to ask is, along your journey, what was the worst business decision you ever made, and what did you learn from it?
So along my journey, the worst business decision that I made, I think that it was rushing to a development company. I really think that if you are going into the app industry, you should really take its ton of time to research and just figure out, okay, what development company is going to be the fastest, the cheapest, the most helpful, etc. And so I was only 18 at the time. So I had done research. I'm like, okay, I found about 5 to 10 different articles that this one company was one of the top companies. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going with it just because I wanted to get the platform out as quick as possible. And so my advice for that is that I use Upwork a lot. I don't know if you're familiar with Upwork, but Upwork is a platform where you can hire freelancers anywhere. Upwork has really like changed the complete course of our platform. Like you can really find a developer. You can post jobs in there. You can look for people that are like just hiring jobs and stuff like that. And just I really feel like you should use Upwork instead of going to a US development company or something like that because they're going to charge you arm and a leg. They're going to take a little bit longer than you expected as well. Um, and the communication factor is just kind of iffy sometimes. So Upwork is like you're gonna find people that will do the work and do it well for $10 an hour, like, and you can really get the platform up as quick as possible for as cheap as possible. So yeah, I really feel like my worst business decision was rushing to a development company just to get the app out as quick as possible because I definitely could have saved a lot more money and time.
No, that makes sense. And sometimes, you're excited about it, but you want to get it up and going. You want to get it out to the world, and you are sometimes slowing down and just making sure that you have that, the things in line and the path for development that in place and can make that difference. So easy mistake to make, but a great one to learn from.
Right.
Second question now that I like to ask is, so now if you're talking to somebody that's just getting into a startup or a small business, what would be the one piece of advice you give them?
One Piece is tough. I think the most impactful one is that this is a reason a lot of startups fail. You're gonna get a lot of no's. Like I've gotten so many no's in my life, but you just can't. No means next opportunity to me. So again, if someone says no, like there's so many opportunities out there that you can't just like. I know people that have shut down off of one no. Like, okay, I'm done doing it. I've gotten too many no's. Like you just got to keep going because eventually you're gonna get a yes, and someone's gonna see your vision and believe in it, and then you're gonna be able to prove them right. And prove the other no's wrong, essentially. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of no's in life. Just keep going and just you're gonna eventually get those yeses that really propel you to the next level.
No, I think that's a great takeaway. I mean, sometimes you get the one person that's the naysayer or the doubter, or even if they give you good feedback or advice, you take that and you say, okay, now how do I account for that, and how do I make it better and improve on it, and
Exactly.
and having that fortitude can make a big difference in the success of the company. So I think that's definitely a great piece of advice. So
100%.
with that, now as we do wrap up the episode, if people want to reach out to you, they want to be a customer, they want to be a client, they want to be an employee, they want to be an investor, they want to be your next best friend, any or all of the above, what's the best way to reach out to you, contact you, find out more?
Yeah, so you can contact me at Maurice, so Maurice at wetrain.com. So it's WETRAIN.com. Our Instagram is at WeTrain, at WETRAIN. And our website is retrain.com. So you can just reach out there, our Instagram or my email, and we'll be able to chop it up.
Awesome. Well, I definitely encourage people to reach out, support a great business, and if nothing else, make a new best friend. So with that, thank you again, Maurice, for coming on the podcast. It's been fun. It's been a pleasure. Now, for all of you other listeners that are out there, if you have your own journey to share and you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, we'd love to have you. So just go to inventiveguest.com, apply to be on the show. A couple more things as listeners. Make sure to click share, subscribe, leave us a review. Helps us to reach even more startups and small businesses to help them along their journey of success. And on that note, if you ever need help along your journey with patents or trademarks or anything else with your startup or your small business, just go to strategymeeting.com, grab some time with us to chat. We're always here to help. Well, thank you again, Maurice, for coming on the podcast, and wish the next leg of your journey even better than the last.
Of course, I really appreciate it. And download WeTrain today on the App Store.